Hey, hi everyone. Welcome to HNM Technologies online training. I'm very excited today. It's a very important topic and a list. Quick recap. Last video and the previous video we completed about a list. Okay, list basics and indexing, list methods like append, remove, sort. Right. Now we learn the most elegant feature of a Python list comprehension. Yeah. Before that, let me show you a problem first. Okay. Yeah. For that, let me open VS Code. So this is a VS Code. Yeah. So in last videos we done like this. Marks. I have a list of marks. Yeah. There's my list. Now I'm going to add a sum of marks like 35 filed mark 29. Yeah. So there's my mark. Now here I'm going to take a separate this marks from marks list. I'm going to take partial marks. So this see in this marks list I have some failed marks like 35 29. This for that I need to partial marks sub. Okay, so for that I just assigning a list empty list. Right now for loop for mark and mark. Right, if mark is greater than 60, then I'm just adding this into marks. See the output is only partial mark. Partial marks means so which is greater than 60. Right, so this way we use a for loop in a right. You have 4 lines of code here. It works fine, but Python has a way to do this in a one line on a clean line, right? So faster too, that's a faster where it is a list comprehension. Okay, so using list comprehension I just take variable called pass and I'm assigning I want mark for mark and marks list only if greater than equal to 16. Very simple, right? I just need to add same as before, same output, marks greater than 60. Before that we have totally 5 lines of code, right? But now we have just only one line. In one liner I printed it out. So this is the list comprehension, same result, one line. Right, think of like we are ordering something in a hotel or anything, so we just saying I want a idli vada, but instead of I want a idli, two idli, one vada in a plate with a sambar and a chutney, like that. It's a bit complex, right? So instead of that we just said one plate of idli vada, right? So we'll get everything like that. So list comprehension is just saying only one line, so getting output at a same as a previous one. Right, now in this video we're going to cover basic list comprehension, syntax with the conditions and with the expression transforming and nested list comprehensions, when to use this comprehensions and we don't use this list comprehension. We'll cover everything in it, right? Okay, yeah. First the structure, yeah, basic syntax. Normal for loop is like this. No, I just taking empty list and for item in a iterable if condition. No, so this is the normal basic index for loop. So new list item and the for item in a iterable if condition is it, if condition will we say condition and then expression, right? But same thing in a list comprehension syntax, we use the same variable new list and so our expression, whatever the expression, and for item in a iterable for condition, right? So this way we will just like a, so give me an item for each item in a right, in a sequence or a condition if condition is true or iterable. So we'll see first our first list comprehension. I'll go with the movies. Yeah, this is my going to movies, Kibler, KGF, Bahubali, Dangal 3. This is some blockbuster movies. Now I do this for loop, like for loop. I want this movies list into the new movies list. I'm just assigning this into new. For that I just took where I'm telling, and now for looping. Okay, there is no condition, just I want everything in my movie. Okay, so if the for movie in a movies list, I'm just appending that movie into the new list. Okay, right now I just spent new list. Also I'm going to append movies, both are same. This is the first one is new movie list. Okay, this is empty list here. I will just append it the movies list we have this. Okay, and now same thing I'm going with the list comprehension. I just take a variable called new movies list and the movie for movie in a movies list. Okay, so this is the movie list we have. I'm just printing that new movie list. See the output in just one line of the code we got this, right? So this is the list comprehension. Okay, so we do some more stuff with list comprehensions, like instead of just copying we do something to each item. Like I just take a number and I want a squared for number and numbers, just square. See this here, I just append a number. If I want a square root, I just made two multiplications. Okay, square 2 with this numbers. For this numbers, instead of numbers I can use a range also. Okay, for this I just use numbers. Okay, square root of 1 1, square root of 2 4, 3, 9, 4, 16, 5, 25. See the output here. So I'm going to do the same thing with the help of list comprehension. So let me write square numbers. Yes, square numbers. I took just a variable square numbers, and so numbers, yeah, the number multiplying with the 2, okay, square root of 2 for number and a number, each number in a numbers list. Okay, same output here. So this list comprehensions, I'll show you some more examples. So we do like we have a moves list, right? So our moves list like so just make it as a raw something unused. I'm just making some spell case. I just change the movie formats, case format, right? Now this is a moves. Now I want a movie list in a clean way, right? So just name it as a raw movie. I want to clean movies. For that, just a variable called clean. So in usual we do this one empty list, but now I just take list comprehension. Okay, movie strip some white space if I have like that spaces before them and the stripping and not lawyer. I'm taking a tight for movie in a raw movie. Each movie for in a raw movie. I'm just printing the triple or cage, Bahubali, Dang, Idiot. Everything is in the form, right? Title form. You can see the idiot 3 8 here is in a different case form, but here is a title. So this way for this small complex situations, we use this simple situations complex list comprehension. So very simple, right? Now we'll use some more stuff with list comprehension. We are going to use this conditions, right? If and else conditions. I have a movies list, so this I also have collections, right? So each movie home I collected, I have a collection. Now I'm going to take a hit high grossing movie. Yeah, high grossing movie. Here I just take a movie for I want movie for a movie collection, right? Collection zip. I'm just zipping the file. You know the how to zip, right? Then we working with two separate lists. We do this zip function, movies list and collections. If condition, if collection greater than 1,000, okay. So if the collection is greater than 1,000, it's a high grossing. So how many movies we have? 1,500, 2,000 and 12,000. We have only 3 movies. So more than 1,000 collection. One is a KGF, Bahubali, and 3. So we see the output here. So KGF, Bahubali, 3D. There's a high crossing. So like this way we can use this conditions also. At the end we use conditions, if condition or L like the conditions. Okay. So I'll show you on another example. In this case I'm going to take a marks or yeah, I have a marks this and it's a printer. See mark in a marks if marks greater than 60. So I'm just passing the if condition if greater than 60, passing that path. And if I want only failed mark, failed. So if the marks is less than 40, there is a failed. See we have, so first one is marks of passed marks and the failed marks. So this way we can use if or else conditions in a list comprehensions. So we just use a if. Right now I'm going with a else, if else goes, right? If we just add at the end, but what if I have going to use else conditions? So it's a bit of change. So the difference from filtering, instead of removing items, we transform them based on the condition. The if else goes before the for. Okay, like, I'll show you. I have a mark, like I'm going to take results in a one. We have a two way. So one is for pass, one fail. Instead of that, I'm taking one result. Okay, see here, pass if mark greater than equal to else fail for mark in a mark. So we use these conditions before for. Before that, we use for if condition after for. See the difference? Okay, so see the output. What is so mark 85 is pass, fail, pass. If I have names, I can showing the names passed like the formatting. So this is the example to condition before for if we're going to use if and else same. Okay, show you one more examples. Right, I have a movies list, movies triple and collection. Right here, I'm going to take a which movie is a hit or which movie is a flop. Right, so I'm taking more than greater than 1,000. I'm taking as a hit and app hit and app. Right, I'm taking state a movie as if collection greater than 1,000. Else movie is a flopper. For movie collection in a zip function, the in a zip file movies and color. Right, I'm going to print C tripler as a flop, KGF is a hit, Bahubali is a hit, Dangal is a flop, 3 Idiots. So instead of flop, I just take an app. So I'm taking app. Tripler is average, KGF is a hit, Bahubali is a hit, Dangal is a average, and 3 8 is a hit. So like that we can use this if conditions, if and else and list comprehensions. Here you can observe we use conditions before the for loop. So key rule is if at the end filter, some items may be removed, okay, sometimes, but if else before for on transform, all items kept just change it, right? Okay, further we use when we using if else at the same time in a list comprehension before for, okay, but we just using else, sorry, if and a condition, if condition we just using after for loop, right? Okay, now using in a nested loop. Nested list like a list inside a list. Okay, I want this nested list in a one line list for flat list, num for a sub list in a nested list for num in a sub list. So before this, I'll show you how to take it without a list comprehension. So in general, we take a nested list like this and empty list. Okay, for sub list in nested list, and further for num in a sub list in a nested list for each list inside a list, and for a number in a this sub list flatten and append into a number in a flattened list. Okay, we do with this, so output is like 1 2 3 4 5 6 7, right? So instead of this, I'm going to use my list comprehension. You see, output is same, so we can use list comprehensions wherever we want, but there is a bit of a complexity, so we need to know where we use this list comprehensions, like where we don't use this list comprehension, we need to know. So very simple, if the situation is simple, very simple, at the time we're not going to use this complex way of writing this kind of program. Instead of that, for simple situations we use this complex list formation. Okay, but if the situation is very complex, we need to write a complex way. So something we whenever some other developers when see the program, they need to know what inside we write. For the time we don't use the list comprehensions because I'm not making a confusion. At that time we use just a for loops for better clarity. Okay, now if I have a simple copy or a transform situations, I use a list comprehensions, or a simple filter, I use a list comprehension, or sometimes there is a complex multi-step logic when I need to use in a program. At that time I use a normal for loop. Okay, multi operations per item, I use for loop, nesting more than 2 levels, so at the time also I use for loop, normal for loop. Okay, so this way we need to know where we use list comprehensions, right. Now in this video we covered basics like syntaxing, how basic syntax, and transforming items for modifying each item in a list, so making everything in a, we can write everything in a list comprehension form. Okay, even in nested list we can use list comprehensions. Now I'm going to give some practice questions. So take a list of numbers as an input. Okay, from user you can take an input and give an input, then print even numbers using a list comprehension, and take a list of numbers as input and then print odd numbers using a list comprehension. Okay, and take a list number as input and print numbers greater than 50 using a list comprehensions, less than 50 using list comprehensions. Okay, so print this using a list comprehension. Okay, and do some experiments. Okay, you can use a list comprehension wherever you want in a list. You know everything about a list, how to add, how to modify the list. Okay, in this situation, so you can do anything with a list, right? List comprehensions is one of the most important thing, and list is one of those things that feels confusing at first, but once it click, once you know, once you okay with this comprehensions, you will use it everywhere you want. Okay, every Python developer loves, because simple, and instead of multiple lines in one line we complete the program. Okay, now we're going to cover tuples in the next video, similar to the list, but with the one big difference. Okay, we can't be change find out why it's this actually in a tuples. We'll cover everything in this in a tuples. Okay, what is a tuple, why we use this tuple, since we have a list, but why go for a tuple, right? We'll see in the next video. Thank you for choosing HNM Technologies.